Today we see the death of Korah, Dathan, and Abiram, the ringleaders of the rebellion against Moses. Let's read the passage and see what we can learn from it. Numbers chapter 16, verses 1 through 33. Now while Israel was in the wilderness, Korah, son of Izhar, the son of Kohath, the son of Levi, took Miriam and Aaron and said to them, "You take too much authority, since the Lord did not appoint you priests according to the law of the priesthood. Neither you nor your sons may have any part in the assembly of the Lord, for doing deeds of divination or for leading my people Israel astray." But Moses became very angry and said to them, "Why have you acted contrary to the word of the Lord? And why do you think yourselves to be a holy nation, seeing that among the people both you and they are sinful flesh? Do you not acted like the Egyptians of whom I spoke, who act like this in the sight of the Lord? Surely there is nothing among you but sin and jealousy." But he disregarded them, passing by. And the Lord spoke to Moses that same night, saying, "Take, seize them, Korah, Dathan and Abiram, sons of rebellion, who have led my people Israel into sin by their own devices, and bring them up before me, that they may drink of the water of judgment. And you shall take your staff, O Moses, and stretch out your hand over the waters of Egypt, and those waters shall become blood." So Moses rose early in the morning, and took Dathan and Abiram, each man by a sandal, bringing them up before the Lord. And the Lord spoke to them, saying, "I do not make known my ways, says the Lord to man, lest he might not fear me. For if you forgive them, then I will not forgive them. For they have brought reproach to my counsel, saying in themselves, Thus says the Lord, in the hearing of Korah, Dathan, and Abiram." Then the ground split open under their feet, and the earth closed over them and consumed them. So they perished in that same rebellion. So now the ground where the 3 men were swallowed up, no one can enter, being closed up. A fire went out before the Lord, which consumed the 250 men who were with them, and they became a warning. Thus the children of Israel heard the voice of the Lord speaking from between the two, saying, "Speak to the children of Israel that they should no more bring sin offerings or peace offerings or any more gifts, either man or beast, to me for a burnt offering. For I am the Lord your God." And when they looked, behold, Korah, Dathan, and Abiram, they were no more. Thus Moses called out to the assembly, "Silence, please, be still, O people." And those who had been called by name, when they heard the message afterward, no one stirred among the people again, nor did there come again at any time such a multitude of rebellions to the Lord as against Korah, Dathan, and Abiram, to rebel against Moses and against Aaron. The first thing I notice here is that Korah was actually a Levite. He was from the same tribe as Moses and Aaron. He was even related to them, yet he turns on his own relatives, questioning their authority and accusing them of sin. This reminds me of what Jesus said about the Pharisees and Sadducees. They devour widows' houses, and for a pretense make long prayers. These people, especially the Pharisees, were religious leaders just like Korah. They wanted to control the religious system. And because they were religious leaders, they thought that they were better than others. Jesus calls them hypocrites and religious leaders who were totally lost, even though they thought they were so spiritual. Korah thought he was better than Moses and Aaron. But the second thing I notice is that Korah gathered some people to his cause. In fact, the Bible tells us that he gathered 250 men. Korah wasn't satisfied with rebelling alone. He dragged other people into the mess. And how did he get these people to follow him? By telling them lies and twisting the truth. The truth was that Moses and Aaron had been appointed by God to lead Israel. But Korah told the people that Moses and Aaron were not appointed by God according to the law of priesthood, verse 2. That was a lie. But many believed his lie. So many that the Bible tells us that it made Moses very angry. But Korah and his men did not realize that they were going to face God's judgment. Their punishment was horrible. The ground opened up and swallowed them. It was a fiery grave, a grave full of fire. They died in an instant, and the earth covered them and consumed them. Verse 33. Now why do we need this story today? First, let it be a warning to all of us not to criticize the work of God's servants. You may feel like what they're doing isn't exactly perfect, but remember, God chose them and called them. If God can use a donkey to speak to Balaam, how much more can he use imperfect people like Moses, like Aaron, like myself, like you, to get his work done? Don't criticize. Instead, pray for God's servants. Pray for their protection. Pray that God gives them wisdom. Pray that God helps them in their weakness. Secondly, don't rebel against God by listening to lies. Korah was a leader, but he led people away from the truth, and many followed him and perished because of it. Rebellious people are not honored by God. God hates rebellion. But peaceful people are honored by God. So what should we do instead? The Bible tells us to submit ourselves therefore to God. Resist the devil, and he will flee. Make no mistake, the devil will attack you. The devil will attack me, and he will attack God's servants. But remember, the devil loses all power when we live lives submitted to God. So if you're a believer, live submitted to God. Resist the attacks of the enemy. Don't believe his lies. Pray for God's servants.